Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, we'll be making a cowl neck silk slip dress. To start the pattern, I'm going to trace the front bodice block, then draw a line perpendicular from center front to the bust point. Mark the midpoint between the previous line and base of the neckline, then mark 1/4 of an inch away from the top of the shoulder. Connect that point to the midpoint mark. Draw a line from the corner of the shoulder to the corner of the bust point line, and draw another line in the middle of the previous two. Cut out the dart, then cut around the new piece. Cut to the dart and to the end of the lines, not through. Draw a 5 to 10 inch wide rectangle on the paper, then tape the bodice onto the lower line, making sure that center front is lining up with the edge of the paper and the top section aligned with the rectangle. Tape down the rest. Fold out the rectangle and cut out the new piece through both layers of paper. Add extra paper only if needed so that the fold over facing is about 2.5 inches past the side seam from the armhole. Trace the center back and just before the dart, pivot the dart closed, then trace the rest up to the side seam. Make sure that the side seam is the same length as the front bodice's side seam. Then connect to the center back, making sure that there is a right angle at center back. Add 2.5 inches on top of the back bodice, then fold over and cut out the back bodice piece. Trim off the excess from the fold over facing that exceeds 2.5 inches. Place the front skirt block with the center front at the edge of the paper. Leave room for the bodice front to sit on top. Trace the bottom and top portion just before the dart, then pivot the dart closed and trace the rest. Smooth the bottom with a curved ruler. Tape the front bodice on top of the skirt with center front on the edge of the paper, then connect the top of the side seam to the skirt and smooth out with a curved ruler. Add 1/2 inch seam allowance all around except for the side seam. Add 1 inch seam allowance at the side seam. If I did this again, I would have left the bodice side seam 1/2 inch and then tapered it into 1 inch at the bottom of the side seam of the skirt because I ended up taking some in from the side. Place the back skirt block on the edge of the paper and trace the bottom and the top just before the dart. Pivot out both darts as shown, trace the rest and smooth out the bottom. Tape the back bodice piece over the skirt back and on the edge of the paper. Add to the skirt waist to match the bodice width, then blend. Add 1 inch to the side seam and 1/2 inch around the rest. Make sure the side seam length is the same as the front dress's side seam. Add 1/2 inch to the center back seam if you're using a zipper, or in case you're unsure about the fit, because being able to put a zipper there will make sure you can get the dress on if it's just too tight. I ended up not using a zipper because being bias cut made the dress really easy to get on, and you should be okay, but having the seam there for the zipper would help. Cut 4 rectangles 32 inches by 1 inch for the tie-up straps, iron them in half, then fold in the raw edges towards the center and sew it down at 1/8 of an inch. Match the fold-over facing right sides to the dress, then slide one side of the strap inside parallel to the top and pin. Sew along the armhole at 1/2 inch. Make sure the strap stays parallel, or else the strap will look kind of weird when you pull it inside out. Pin the back panels to the front right sides together. Make sure to match the folded facing as well for a clean finish. ended up taking the dress at the underarms 1 inch and 6 inches down, starting where the fold over facing meets the dress. Pin down the 2.5 inches of back facing and then pin the right sides of the back panels together and sew at 1/2 inch seam allowance. I pinned 2 straps about 2 inches away from center back, but try on the dress and decide where you like the placement of the straps on yourself. Sew back and forth a few times to secure the straps. Fold 1/2 inch in and sew the ends of the ties, then trim the excess. Stitch in the ditch for about 1/2 inch at the side seams to secure the facing. If you want the side of the dress to cinch in with a tie, continue following the tutorial. Cut two 24-inch by 1-inch bias strips and zigzag or serge all around. Then cut two 39-inch by 1-inch pieces and sew together. Then make it 1/4 inch the same way we made the straps. Pin and sew the bias cut pieces to the side seam, not the dress where you want the cinching. Fold in the bias strips toward the side seam and sew it down to the side seam only. Move the dress out of the way when sewing. Use a safety pin to pull the string through the tunneling at the side seam. Then fold up the serged hem and sew down at 1/8 inch or roll hem if you don't have a serger. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye!